Bend is a picturesque resort town in Central Oregon. It's known for its stunning nature, outdoor sports, and craft beer. With so much of its economy based around tourism, many breweries can thrive by carving out a small local fan base and attracting a large amount of tourists during the summer and winter. In fact, Bend ranks third in breweries per capita in the entire country, ranking only behind Asheville, North Carolina, and Portland. No, the other one. When visiting Bend, many feel overwhelmed with the sheer number of options, and that's where I come in. As a Bend resident and professional beer drinker, I claim to have the expertise to decide once and for all the top 10 breweries in Bend, Oregon. Note that the only two criteria I'm taking into consideration for this video is the quality of the beer and the overall vibe. I am not going to take food into consideration. Also, to be eligible for this list, a brewery needs to have a location in Bend. So they can produce their product out of town, but there needs to be some sort of pub or tap room within the city limits. That being said, let's begin with number 10, Bend Brewing Company. BBC has a large selection of very solid beer, but the real draw for this location is, well, the location. Situated right downtown, BBC is right by tons of shops, restaurants, and entertainment options. The best part, though, is the enormous outdoor beer garden. The winter ale and golden ale we got were pretty good, and the overlook of Mirror Pond was better. Perfect for a beer in the summer amongst the trees, or a winter beer by the fire pit. Number 9, Crux Fermentation Project. Crux has gained a pretty good reputation for its variety of experimental brews. This means that there's a good chance you'll find something you like, but be warned, if you try the weird stuff, it might be weird. This chai dark lager sounded intriguing, but ended up not really being my thing. The winter ale and blue corn pale were a lot more up my alley. Like BBC, Crux has a large outdoor space, and this video doesn't really do it a justice. We filmed on a colder day in December, but believe me that in the middle of the summer, this place is packed out. It being a slow night was fine by me though, as I got a seat right by the fire pit. Sensing a theme here? My favorite thing about Crux is their barrel-aged beer. We got a flight of their barrel-aged stouts from different years to finish off our night. Number 8, Boneyard Beer. If you like West Coast IPAs, Boneyard is for you. Although they make other styles, the vast majority of their tap list is dry and hoppy. No hazies allowed. Boneyard has 2 locations, this one being the bigger and more bustling pub. My preferred spot is their original brewery and tap room on the Lake Place. That location is essentially a garage, and I mean that in the absolute best way possible. We had a black IPA, or I guess they call it a Cascadian Dark Ale, and a winter IPA. I really like the winter IPA, but CDAs are just not for me. Aside from hoppy beer, Boneyard also excels in their merch game, because putting a skeleton on anything automatically makes it cool, and that is a fact. Number 7, Deschutes Brewery, the one that started it all. Deschutes was founded in 1988 when the population of Bend was less than 20,000. Deschutes is an OG in the craft beer world, and many credit it with pioneering the industry and the town itself. Flash forward to today, and it's one of the nation's top breweries in terms of volume of products year after year. The flagship beers they make at their main production facility are solid, but I much prefer the beers that come from their pubs, pilot plant, and barrel room. There are 3 locations for Deschutes, a pub in Portland. No, the other one. And a pub and tasting room in Bend. The tasting room attached to their main production facility is a good spot if you're coming off the mountain, or a pre-game spot before a concert at the local amphitheater. But I would recommend the pub downtown. This is where Deschutes started it all and still brews pub exclusives to this day. Before you end your night, grab a bottle of barrel-aged beer. Deschutes has a beer club called Cellar Door Society where they create new barrel-aged one-off projects consistently. Number 6, Up Liquids. At the point of making this video, this is the newest brewery in town, but its brewers have decades of experience. See, there's this big brewery in town that will go unnamed that sold to a big company that will also go unnamed. That company laid off a bunch of people, including that brewery's innovation team, so most of that innovation team created Up. This means that despite it being a newer concept, the beer is really good. I think if I were to make this video at this time next year, it might be higher on the list, once they have more time to get used to the system that they're brewing on, but as it currently stands, the quality is still super high. This Russian Imperial Stout is legitimately one of the best dark beers I've ever had. It won a bronze medal at Great American Beer Festival, and I can't help but feel like that's selling it short. One of the brewers noticed me filming and let me see some of the behind the scenes, so shout out, that was really cool. Also, if you're a fan of pinball, they have a bunch of machines. I always play a few rounds when I'm here. There's just one thing that I have to address with this place. I've been polite calling it Up, which is what they want it to be called, but all my friends and I call this place UPP Liquids. Like, was that on purpose? You called your business UPP Liquids. Anyway, it doesn't really bother me. If anything, it makes me want to go here more because I am a child. This is me. Number 5, Funky Fauna Artisan Ales. Funky Fauna is known for its mixed culture saisons and its adjunct flavors. Its tap list is massive with tons of crazy flavor combinations, all from various local and foraged ingredients. With all of their out-of-the-box ingredients and combinations, almost everything they make tastes pretty unique and good. They do also make clean beer. I had a spiced lager this time, but I highly recommend their dark lager, which is available year-round. The beer isn't the only unique and wonderful thing about this place, though. The artwork and style of Funky Fauna is awesome. Witchy, cult-like vibes that really add to the experience. In a lot of ways, it plays well with the beers on tap. A lot of these beers feel like a collection of bizarre ingredients brewed in a cauldron. Funky is always well decorated for the holidays, as you can see from these shots filmed around Christmas, but it's best to come for Halloween. All October long, this place is like a haunted house, one of the most distinct identities you can find in a brewery, and I can't get enough of it. Number 4, Van Henyen Brewing Company. If you haven't been able to tell by now, I love a good theme, and this place certainly has a theme. Making authentic German lagers, this place has a niche and does it well. They do have a couple IPAs on tap, but the vast majority of their repertoire is clean German lagers. We had their Schwarzbier and Pilsner, and they are great. The taproom is an absolute vibe with velvet wallpaper, cuckoo clocks, and wacky art. It's definitely a location you won't forget. If you have the opportunity to come to Bend in September, I highly recommend it. The weather is usually perfect, summer tourism is usually gone, but ski season hasn't started up, and, most importantly, you can catch Van Henyen's Oktoberfest. They make an excellent fest beer every fall and pour many from other local breweries. Number 3, Ale Apothecary. Another entry in this list that makes bold mixed culture beer. Ale Apothecary makes spontaneous barrel-aged beers that are world-class, with many unique and interesting flavor combinations. Very similar to Funky Fauna, Ale Apothecary has a few clean beers on tap. In the flight we got, we included a clean stout. It was fine, but I'd recommend sticking to their specialty. I would argue that Funky Fauna's sours are more approachable to the average drinker, and Ale Apothecary is more for the real sour beer fanatics out there. The taproom has a more natural atmosphere with lots of wood and hand-drawn or painted signage and art. We really like the spruce-tipped beer and the saison with lilac. These beers are certainly not for everyone, but if you like complex, weird, enamel-ripping sours, as do I, you have to check them out. Number 2, Terranaut Beer. Another new entry on this list. Terranaut proudly displays tie-dye tapestries, vinyl records, and local art. When you first walk in, you'd think you're in some sort of hippie art collective. But the art on the wall may be second in creativity to the beers they pour. Cheesecake sours, cocktail-inspired ales, Turkish coffee stouts. The tap list feels more like an ice cream shop or Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. At a lesser brewery, this would be a red flag, pointing to overly sweetened and artificial beverages. But Terranaut is different. Even though there is clear inspiration and ambitious recipe making, it's all done very tastefully and in a way that still feels like you're drinking a beer, because you are. They do have more traditional beers if you don't like the quirky stuff, and they're all executed quite well. If you stay late enough to close Terranaut out, you are treated to Purple Rain, and a light show with their spinning disco tea. In a world so saturated with breweries, it is hard to stand out, but places like Terranaut remind you why beer is so great. Number 1, Sun River Brewing Company. What makes Sun River stand out from the rest? Simply put, the quality of the beer. Many other breweries have a specific style they do well, but Sun River excels with just about everything they do. Lagers, IPAs, dark beers, traditional, seasonal, you name it, they make it just as well or better than anyone. Sun River has multiple locations. As of right now, there's only one in Bend. While their pubs are fine, they're a little restaurant-y for my taste. I prefer to go to their brewery taproom in Sun River itself. We had a Pilsner and a seasonal spruce tip lager. Both were quite nice. A couple weeks later, we had this Marionberry Sour and vanilla barrel-aged Baltic Porter at their Bend pub. I really loved the Baltic. Sun River usually stands out at local and national beer competitions, regularly medaling at JABF and World Beer Cup. One visit to any of their locations, and it's easy to see why. After all that rambling, it's crazy to think that I haven't even mentioned half the breweries in town. I hope this list helps you decide on a spot next time you visit Bend.